Hi everyone, my name is Charles and I escaped North Korea twice. And today we're going to be ranking the things that shocked me the most after escaping North Korea. Let's do it. First one, internet. I went to internet cafe when I was in China. And that was really interesting to see. I started with arcade rooms and some of other friends took me to the internet cafe in China, and I was able to log onto the computer, and I didn't do anything. I wasn't able to do much, but other people showed me what to do, like searching up a South Korean shows, playing some type of games. So the reason why it was so shocking to me was because when I was in North Korea, we always had to deal with CDs and DVDs in order for us to watch something. But when I actually went to PC Cafe, no CDs, no DVDs required, just log on and I can watch South Korean drama. That blew my mind. I'm gonna put internet on the S tier. The second, 24/7 running electricity, because when I was in North Korea, it was really dark. Whenever we are going outside at night, it was pitch black. And if I didn't carry a flashlight or headlights, you could barely see an inch in front of you. But when I came to China, lights everywhere. The street lamps and the signs and different places, different LED lights, it was lit up, and it was really shocking because of how bright it was even at night, and that was really shocking to me. So I'm going to put this one on the A tier. Clothing styles. You know, like a lot of people in North Korea, they wear everything very conservatively. Like women, like they have to cover up everything, right? They can't really show anything. But when I came to China, I thought people were just on their underwears, women especially. I thought they were just wearing underwears and not wearing much. And like they're wearing this tights, and I was really like shy, and I was like, what the heck is going on? So I'm going to put the clothing styles at around B tier. Flying on an airplane. When I was in North Korea, I wouldn't see planes like flying around that much. Like I would see helicopters, but not very frequently. I've never imagined being on a plane. If somebody were to come to me and told me that, oh yeah, you're gonna be flying in a plane, I would say, you're crazy, get out of here. I don't know what you're talking about. How would I even get that opportunity? So when I was finally coming to America, and I went to the airport to get on a flight, right? And first thing that I noticed, airport is really clean. Like Thai airport, really clean. Like I wasn't really sure, like, should I be wearing shoes here? I got on a South Korean flight. It was unimaginable, right? It was crazy. It was mind-blowing for me. It was kind of scary too. Thinking that I'll be in like tens of thousands of feet above the ground, looking down and just flying. The thought of me flying was just insane. You know, I couldn't sleep the entire time that I was on the plane because I was just so excited, exhilarating. And the feeling of, when the flight is about to take off, like they accelerate and you kind of, feel the G-force kind of like knocks you back a little bit. Like that was like really scary to me. And also exhilarating at the same time. I am going to put the flying on the airplane. I'll put amongst the A tier. Smartphones! Alright, so when I was in North Korea, I've seen brick phones and flip phones because right before I escaped North Korea, my broker actually had, it's called soji, like a hand phone. Or in North Korean word, we call it dagda. It's like whenever you're opening and closing the cell phone, it makes like, or flip phone, it's like, makes like sound, right? Goes like, I didn't see smartphone until I came to the state, and I actually held one. And I don't know what to do with it, right? I was like really shocked too by it because like how tiny the screen is, but you can like see movies on it. And if it was in North Korea, this is kind of thing is like unimaginable, right? Like I grew up in black and white TV, and coming here, like having a smartphone on your hand, like watching something, like anywhere at any given moment. You can just pull up your cell phone and you can call someone, text someone, and I'm gonna put smartphone as the A tier. Kmart. When I think about like 장마당, like a market, right? Like I used to think of like muddy floors and like smell, you know, because like they sell fish and different things. They smell really bad, and also like oftentimes it rains, so it's like, yeah, really wet, and everything outdoors, right? Coming to America, one of my favorite activities to do was actually going to the Kmart, because it was so mind-blowing. Like you have everything in Kmart. It's so big too. They have like sporting goods, they have like electronics, furnitures, and they have food court. So every day after school, like if I don't want to do homework, I would just go to Kmart and I would just chill there like the entire, like, you know, probably like afternoon, like right after school, like 3 to like 6, right? And I would come home when it was like dark. I'm going to put Kmart among B. Unrestricted travel. North Korea doesn't have freedom of movement, right? And if you want to go somewhere, you would have to get traveling documents from the local regime, and then you present that to, you know, the checkpoints and the military police officers who's checking your tickets like restrictively, right? And you would have to bribe just to expedite and get the traveling documents just to go to a city that is 50 miles away. And for some people, probably most people in North Korea, they will be born and raised in the same town like until they die. Coming to America, when I actually purchased a car, like my world grew like so much, right? I can just go from San Jose, I can go to Concord, you know, from Concord to San Francisco, from San Francisco to LA. Yeah, it was just amazing, because you don't have to jump through many hoops or even bribe the guards to actually get the traveling documents. You can just get in your car and you drive. Like if you want to drive from San Francisco to New York, you can do that. You have the freedom to do so. So the freedom of movement, I am going to put that on the S tier. I put it in the S tier because when I was in North Korea, that's something that was unimaginable. Seeing another Korean. So when I was in North Korea, there was only white people in America. There's no 동양인s, there's no Asians, there's no Orients. But when I actually came to LA, it's Koreatown, LAX, so many Koreans. And when I actually landed in the LAX, I saw this people who's holding up a sign for like some sort of like a K-pop fans. And I was looking at that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's a Korean, I can read it. And seeing another Korean people's face, it was just fascinating. So I'm going to put that on the B tier, because seeing another Korean, it's just like, wow, like how is this possible? Guns. This is very shocking, because in North Korea, I mean, you will see guns all the time, right? The military carries it, the police officers carries it. Coming to America, you can personally own one. That's really fascinating, because again, like it's, you know, if you are not careful, like it could, you know, you could lose your life, basically, right? So I'm gonna put this one on the B tier. Video games. All right, when I was in North Korea, I used to play Super Nintendo, the games that are kind of like 2D on a black and white TV that was powered by a car battery. And coming to China, it was so much better to play those on colors, because, you know, like, for example, like I used to play Street Fighters, and then King of Fighters, and Tekken?
Oh, Tekken, yeah.
Yeah, Tekken. And now coming to China, like I can play in color, like play in colors, right? So I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, how is this like so good? And coming to America, I was actually introduced to Dota 2, right? I started playing Dota 2 back in 2013. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. Like, how is this so like good? And all the heroes, like, it was just so fascinating. So my wife used to tell me that like, oh, you gotta go to Dota rehab, because yeah, I've been playing it so much. I still love it. I'm going to put this one on A tier because, you know, I would say video game is my passion. It's not a game, it's a passion, right? Because I always make time for it. Movie theater. You know, we do have movie theaters in North Korea, and there's like giant screens. The problem is, it's not open. It's like movie theater, but it's not open. You can't really go in either. But we have a theater though. Like we can go into the theater, you know, we can sit in a rows and we can watch people perform like propaganda songs. When I came to America, like the movie theaters were so comfy. Like the chairs, you know, and then like it's really cool. Like when I was in Conquer, and like my favorite thing to do actually, except Kmart, is, you know, going to the movie theaters. Even though like I didn't understand any English, like that was one of my favorite things to do as well, like watching movies. When you go to the movie theater, there's like a poster of like upcoming movies, right? And I was just like love staring at those. The art is just so good that it just like draws you in. Whereas like North Korean propaganda, like those kind of like stands, like it's all about destroying America, I guess. So I'm going to put this one to the A tier. Homeless people. This is a really interesting one because when people think about North Korea, they usually think of nuclear warheads, authoritarianism, and the heartless dictator. I'm making content because I want everybody to think of North Korean people. They are ordinary people who don't know how much better life could be. If you want to help me be a voice for voiceless North Koreans, I would love for you to support me on Patreon, where you can get early access to full-length videos, all sorts of fun pictures, outtakes, and other exclusive videos. Thank you, and I hope to see you there. North Korea, there are a lot of homeless kids, but I wouldn't say homeless adults, because unfortunately, again, like North Korea doesn't have an unemployment rate, right? So somebody has to work. And if you're homeless, right, you're most likely to be abandoned by your parents. And if you're homeless, like you can't really sustain yourself. So you kind of die out. You can feed yourself as a homeless to grow old as a homeless in North Korea. Before I came to America, I thought there's gonna be no homeless people in America. And when I saw homeless people, like, it really shocked me, right? Because if I were to think of a homeless person, very malnourished, can't even walk, can't even stand, begging for food on the street, because I was there, right? I'm helpless, I can't do anything. But when I came to America, like, whoa, that person is very muscular, very tall, and looks very young, and like, how is he homeless? You know, so I had a lot of those questions. But certainly, I didn't really believe that there's gonna be homeless people in America. So I'm gonna put that on the S tier. Cars. In North Korea, again, there's like, you would not imagine owning your own personal motor vehicle, right? Yeah, sure. If you're rich, if you're middle class, sure, you can own a bicycle, right? But anything that is motorized, you have to get approval from the regime, and that actually goes under the North Korean regime's property, right? Because it's a socialist country, and then from there on, like you can use it as like, oh, this is the factory property, but I'm just borrowing it, even though you own it, right? Even though it is yours. But this, again, like cars, like, you know, some people in Pyongyang, like who are really, really important, of course, they have a personal vehicle. Mercedes and Volvo and Range Rovers in that matter. But commoners like us, it was never imaginable, right? And when I actually came to America, sure, I didn't have enough money to purchase the car when I was in high school. But I did. I financed a freaking 2005 overheated, drowned Audi A4. I got scammed, of course. But it's like having like a small room. You know, it's like I could sleep here, I could watch movies here. Yeah, so it was just like so crazy. It was so great. Like even still now, it's like getting in a car. It's just like, whoa. Like, I'm here. You know, it's like the proof that I made it. So I'm gonna put that on the S tier. All right, television. I think the most interesting about the television, for me personally, it was like how many channels there were. In North Korea, one channel. Technically 3 if you were to count those illegal 2 channels, which is Manchester. But again, like I grew up with a black and white TV, and coming to China, my sister had a really big TV, like colored big TV. And that was just mind-blowing, right? Because like a kid and just coming and just like color TV, 24-hour running like, you know, TV channels. But coming to America, my foster care home had really big TV, and it actually had like a VHS player as well. And you can hook it up and you can play video games on it too. It was just like so fascinating. So I'm going to put one on the A tier because of how versatile it was and many different varieties. And it relates to freedom of information. Paved roads. When I was in North Korea, again, like, you know, I grew up in a small part of the town. It's Changjin, right? And even in Suncheon, not a lot of roads were paved, right? So during summer, like when it was really like heavy raining, then it gets all muddy. And when it gets really sunny, it gets all dusty, like wind blows and just like dusty. And you know, your shoes gets really dirty and your clothes gets really dirty because, you know, it gets dusty all the time. Coming to China and looking at the paved roads, it was just fascinating. You know, it's just like, oh my gosh, I can walk on this during, you know, like during it's raining, and the water gets observed by the concrete and your feet really don't get wet, right? I mean, your shoes do get wet because of the falling raining, but there's no like, you know, constant puddles of water, right? And you don't need to worry about your feet sinking into the mud. So I'm gonna put that on the C tier. Computers. So North Korea do have computers, but only people with money can afford it, right? Maybe they have laptops too. When I was in North Korea, again, I did not know what's the difference between computer and a TV. Even coming to China, I did not really understand what computers do except like streaming. And when I came to America, I realized that you can use computer to do so much, right? Like a Google Links, for example, right? And now with the AI and everything, like I'm a software engineer, right? So the amount of things that it enabled me to do because of the computer, I'm gonna put this one on the A tier. Criticism of the regime. When I was in North Korea, if you were to say one bad thing about the regime, right, you will be persecuted as a traitor and a treason. And when I came to China, I heard my neighbors, right, at restaurants talking about Kim Jong-il and saying how he was a pig, right, and in Korean, right? And as soon as I heard that, like I was shooketh. I was shooketh my core, right? I was like, am I supposed to be here? Like, am I allowed to be here? Right? Because I was so shocked. Even after coming to America for a brief period, like I was hesitant to even call Kim Jong-il by his first name because I'm just so used to say 장군님, right? Or 수령님, which is like the dear leader and the great leader. But you know, it took me a long time to get used to like talking crap about I mean, testifying the trauma that I've went through, the human rights violations that North Korean regime is committing, right? It took me a while to actually stand up for that. But I'm going to put this one on an S tier because, you know, I was just so shocked. I was like, wait, you can't do that? Like, you can talk bad about regime and also Kim Jong-il and Kim Il-sung as well. I was like, that's crazy. PC cafe. I know that North Korea actually now, right, at 2025, they claim that they have PC cafe, of course without the internet. They have like Steam games, meaning that they do actually have Steam installed on the PC so that they can play like Counter-Strike. That PC cafe is for people with money, right? People who are elites. Again, it's only in Pyongyang. And I wouldn't imagine going into PC cafe. You know, if I were to either play game or eat today, I would probably want to eat today. But when I came to China, I went to PC cafe and it was fascinating. Of course, there's rows and rows of computers and people yelling in their headphones and and people raging, it was kind of quite entertaining. I would just like stand there and just like watch all these people playing video games. And when I didn't have money in China, I would just like go stand behind some people watching like different TV shows, like South Korean shows. And America don't really have that many PC cafes, but just the entertainment and the thought of it, like I'm going to put this one on the B tier. Resettlement agency. There is nothing that is comparable to resettlement agency in North Korea. North Korean regime supposedly should provide everything to its people. North Korean regime fails to do so. And when I came to America, I was assigned to a resettlement agency, and everybody were just so nice. Of course, like Shannon, she was my first social worker. She would come to me with a translator, and she would take me to the hospital, to get it checked up. And she would come to my high school, and help me with all these kind of different things. And it was really nice. And it was shocking too, because I felt like, well, what did I do to deserve this? Like I was like, I don't deserve this. Like what did I do? And they actually supported me through ups and downs. So I'm going to put them on the S tier, because without them, I probably wouldn't be here. Personally, I want to give my success, right, to my resettlement agency and my social worker. He was my best man at my wedding. He was like my father figure in a way. Hey, if you're watching this, Joaquin, thank you for all you've done and all the good work that you're continuing to do. Oh, throwing food away. That's kind of like an unimaginable thing if I was in North Korea, right? Because of how severe food insecurities were in North Korea, and many people still struggles to find food. When I came to America, I used to work at a sushi restaurant, and I started as a dishwasher. And while I was working as a dishwasher, like I see how much food waste was coming through. And I was like, man, if I were to put all of this food in a plastic bag and just somehow throw it into North Korea, it could save hundreds, not even thousands of people. And in America, like we have big portions. When I go to like eat hamburgers nowadays, like I have to save half of it because I can't eat because there's so much food. It was really shocking to me to actually see all this food go to waste. I'm going to put this one on the A tier. Let me just double check and see if I like where everything is at right now. So, I might move the electricity up onto the S tier because, when I was in North Korea, if I were to get like 2 hours of electricity, at a week, like that would be amazing. But in America, like we have it 24/7, and that in itself is like shocking. It's like street lamps and it's like how bright it is, and like everywhere is lit up. Like Christmas lights. You go out during the Christmas and you look at the lights, like that itself was just like, what the PC cafe. It was shocking as a North Korean, right? Like when I came to China, like I would see PC cafes, but now, like because I have my own PC, I'm gonna move down to D tier actually, because like as a North Korean, like who didn't know much about computers and nothing like that, like you wouldn't really know what to do in a PC cafe, right? Yeah, sure, it was shocking for me, but like I did not certainly know how to use those computers, right? So I'm gonna put that on a D tier. The last one is paved roads. It wasn't, North Korea do have paved roads, a lot of paved roads. Well, not a lot, but yeah, North Korea do have like cracked paved roads. So I'm gonna put that on a D tier. Actually, I'm gonna move PC Cafe to the C tier because like even though I don't know like how to use a computer, like being in that presence of like multiple people sitting in the same computer and just like doing something, like that was kind of shocking because like in North Korea, like it's just me and my friend sitting in front of a black and white TV, you know, playing like Super Mario. But like it's like, these guys are like whole nother level, you know. It's like on a PC. Now it looks great. I like the tier list now. I like how it looks. Please tell me what you think of it, and please let me know if you would change anything. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.